Hi, I'm Jane Turvey, Community Services Coordinator for the Aurelia Public Library. In case you finally have some time to sort through boxes of family photos, here are some tips for getting the project organized. First step is to come up with a plan. Are you planning to share the photos with family? How would you like to share the photos with family? Are you planning to scan them? Or do you just want to store them? Think about how you would like to store the photos. In photo boxes, in archival containers or binders, or acid-free sleeves and boxes. Due to our current circumstances, some of these items might not be available. So for the time being, improvise with envelopes, shoe boxes, whatever you have on hand, and then replace with proper archival quality items when possible. The best way to get started is to find a place in your home where you can leave your project undisturbed. This project could take you a long time. It won't be done in one day. Get organized by using notes to indicate what will go in each pile, so when you go back to it, you won't have to take the time to figure it out. Begin with an overall sort. Your first sort should be based on main categories. For example, you could sort by families. You could sort by years, or you could sort by events, or any other category that suits you. Be sure to write the categories on pieces of paper and place them in front of each storage box, binder, or whatever you have decided to use. You can add subcategories after you do your initial sort if you find you would like to add that to your project. Now, start sorting. The toss pile. Are there photos that you really don't need to hold on to? You might decide to throw out those blurry holiday photos and the photos of every animal you saw at the zoo 20 years ago. How about Grandma and Grandpa's palm tree photos? They took the same picture each year, standing in front of the same palm tree, and they look the same in each photo. So it's not like you could even figure out a date to go with the picture. Toss them. The best way to store your photos is standing upright inside envelopes or binders to keep them from falling over and bending. Dividers will help to keep them sorted into the categories that you have already spent a lot of time working on. Photo storage boxes can be labeled and piled on shelves for easy access. Binders with archival pages are also a great way to store priceless family photos for future as well. While you were finding all of the photos that you want to sort, did you know that it is recommended that you remove your photos from sticky albums, as over time it can ruin the pictures? You know, those so-called magnetic photo albums, the ones with the sticky pages and plastic page covers? You may find it darn near impossible to get the pictures off the page. Some of them may be loose, so take those photos out of the book when possible. If they are stuck really good, you might want to scan the entire page and then separate the pictures into individual images digitally. Decide if you really want to take the time and effort to actually remove the pictures that are really stuck. If the answer is no, you can scan the pages and then either leave the album as is or toss it. But if you really want to try and get the photos off the pages, here's one trick you can try. Use waxed dental floss to remove the pictures. Wiggle the dental floss under one corner of the photo and continue carefully wiggling it until the photo comes off the page. You could also use a small flat spatula made for final crafts to help gently pry up the picture. Just be very careful because you can easily rip it if you push too hard. Do not use anything sharp like a razor blade. Some people use an adhesive remover to help loosen up the photos, but do so sparingly, as again, it could ruin the pictures. Some experts also recommend using a hairdryer on stubborn pages. Set the hairdryer to the low or warm setting and sweep the hairdryer over the photo. Don't get too close or you might melt the front. This may loosen the adhesive enough that you can go back and use the dental floss. Once you get your photos out of the album and some of the adhesive residue remains on the back, use a rubber cement eraser to rub off the adhesive. Then gently brush the back of your photos to remove dust and grit. If there is a sticky spot on the back of the photo that you can't remove, place a piece of photo-safe paper on the back to keep it from sticking to other photos. How about those old photo albums that have photos glued onto thick black paper? The black paper is actually quite harmful to the preservation of the photos, so try to remove the photos if you can. If the album is pre-World War I, the paper most likely is acid-free, so the picture should not deteriorate. You may be lucky and find that the photos are held on with photo corners that can easily be pulled away from the paper to release the photos. However, in most cases, the photos in these albums were secured with glue, sometimes lots and lots of glue. To remove these photos, try to cut around the photo that is stuck to the page. Make sure that you don't cut through another one that has been attached on the back. Some experts actually use hot water to remove these photos. If you want to attempt this, add boiled water to a flat glass pan and submerge the photo in the water using tweezers. Let it sit for several minutes until the glue starts to melt and release the photo. Remove the photo from the water and gently start pulling it off the black paper. You can soak 2 to 3 photos at a time. Remove the wet photos and place them on a soft cloth to dry. Do not use this method for Polaroids. Hopefully, you will find names on the backs. Speaking of names on the backs, the next step is really important. We have all been frustrated by finding an old family photo without names listed on the back, and we have no idea who is in the photo. Or what is written on the back says, "This is us at the family reunion." So be sure to label the back of your photos. Just because you know who the people are in the photo does not mean that future generations will know. However, make sure this is done using a safe method. Never use a ballpoint pen. It is best to write softly with a pencil, or you could use Lumicolor permanent markers. Another solution might be acid-free labels. Type or write the information first and then apply the label to the back of the photo. But no matter what you choose to use, press lightly or you could damage the photo. Include as much information as possible, including the names and ages, possible dates, along with where the photograph was taken. This will help those who might inherit your photographs years from now identify the people. You could also buy archival sleeves, which allows you to write on the sleeve under the photo and keep the photo safe within the sleeve. Try to wear clean cotton gloves when handling these old photos, or handle them gently by the edges so as not to leave behind oil from your fingers that can damage them. When you are ready to store the photos that you have spent all this time organizing, make sure you store them properly. Protect them from sunlight or extreme heat. Don't store in the basement or attic. Do not use paper clips, rubber bands, tape or glue. And one more thing, keep food and drink away from your sorting table. Thank you for watching Organize Your Family Photos Part 1. Watch the Aurelia Public Library's YouTube channel for Part 2. It will provide tips to scanning, digitizing, and backing up those scans.